before that, we're now going to be joined by Jason Coiner, and I'm real excited here because I know you guys have already talked to him. So, the cat's maybe out of the bag, but I'm going to go ahead and bring Jason on now. Jason, are you there?
I am here. How are you doing?
Better than average. Hopefully better when I hear some news from you. I know you've... Go ahead.
It would be nice if EA would, acknowledge what we're doing here, but they seem to be turning us giving us a cold shoulder.
Well, I want to find out from you. I know we've talked on Facebook quite a bit, but look, here's the bottom line. What can we do? What really? This is my big question because it's kind of been changing this last 24 hours. Is there anything we can do? If you get to talk to this guy, what can you say? What are you going to say to him?
We have two options, and I'll tell you that within the last about 2 hours, we've had signatures pick up. We're over 8,800 already, so we've picked up about 300 signatures. Two things that we really need to happen. If people weren't aware, at the same time, there was another petition that was out by U Stadium, which was two guys that live out in New York City that started a mobile app, and two big Jets fans. They were able to get the attention of Richard Sherman. So we need to get two things. We need to get attention from him to get some kind of support of what we're doing, and we need to get a hold of EA. And by everybody signing that petition, it goes straight to the CEO's mailbox. I've encouraged everybody to start posting on EA's wall. They have a Madden Sports page on Facebook. Let them know that we want the Legion to move on there. And if they're unwilling to at least, do a cover, provide maybe an alternate cover that we can either download or can be purchased that has that, or even a Legion of Boom special edition. So, just because they released a cover today doesn't mean the fight's over with.
To back up a little bit for some that are listening that haven't maybe been watching this story as it's transpired, I've tried to obviously spread the word as much as possible. But what inspired you to do this? I know Adam and Brandon were just talking about it. Obviously, they've already had a discussion with you. But what really, at the root of this, got you said, look, I'm going to do this, and I think it's going to happen?
I'll tell you, it's been the love for the Seahawks, but, when I read the interview on ESPN with Richard Sherman where he wanted to have a Legion of Boom on there, I thought to myself, what an unselfish act that was. And if you saw after the NFC Championship, he was just belittled for a 15-second interview. Yet fans who have, of football, who have, no idea what he does outside of sports, would be surprised of all his charity work that he does. And I really thought to myself, he needs to be recognized for all the things that he does that's wonderful compared to a 15-second clip. And, the year that we had and the redemption that we had where fans have, we stuck through them thick and through thin, and we've been ridiculed when they've been bad, and we're hated when they're great, just like they are now. The 12s wanted it. He wanted a challenge. He asked for it, and I stepped up because I thought, you know what? You need to do it as a 12.
So, I know you've been doing this for the last week and working hard at it, but how has this affected your own life? What's the impact? Hopefully a lot of good in it, but what are some of the things that you've taken out of this that have maybe, made you think differently about how we as fans and players work together in maybe the same direction?
I'll tell you, it's been an eye-opening experience. Not only have I had friends who are not Seahawks fans love the follow-through of what's going on, and now they're paying attention to the team, but just seeing everybody come together and back, if anything, if this does not go through, I think what we come out of this and what I personally come out of this is forging new friendships with people with a passion in a sport and a team that I love, and I think that's what at the forefront of all this has come, because if I had never taken a stand and challenged him, I would not be talking to you now, and I would not be talking to Brandon a couple days earlier, and all these wonderful people with wonderful things to say and support. We may have never crossed paths.
So with all that being said, what more can the audience do? We're all trying to spread the word, but other than signing that petition and maybe emailing EA Sports, is there anything else we can do to try to help you and all of us with this cause?
I'll tell you, we're kind of at a crossroads right now because that's what we're limited at is we need to get a response from EA, or we need to get some type of public support from Richard Sherman. That's where we're at, because I can spend the next 10 hours sending out emails and contacting media outlets and news companies, and that's only going to get us so far. We need to get a hold of EA. We need to find, a middle ground to see if they're willing to work with us to give us what we want, and we need to have a strong vocal voice. We need, Richard Sherman to come out and say, hey, you need to back this. This is what I wanted. We're answering. We need to do something about it.
I heard a rumor today that discussion might have taken place, but Richard was not inclined to split the fee. I don't know if you've heard that. I just want to see if you had a comment about it.
My comment would be about that is that if it's as important to him to have the Legion of Boom on there, to share that with them, and if it's important to make the fans happy, they will find a way to do it. We've, have more than done our share to get the word out, to let him know that we're fighting for this and that we want this. And if it's going to happen and he wants it to happen, he'll make it happen, and everybody else will. But that's just the way that it is.
And I know that you've also looked into getting pre-orders, 12,000 plus pre-sold interest type orders. I think that's fantastic. Also, I think the idea of maybe regionalizing for different teams in different parts of the country, having special editions, it seems to me like that would be a win-win for EA. But what are some of the methods that you're trying to use in these communications with EA to say, hey, look, there's potentially a bigger apple here for you if you make some small changes to work with the fans?
Yeah, we've submitted ideas, and the 12,000 copy pre-order was, a fellow 12 named Cedric. He is in the Southern California Seahawks chapter. It was a great idea that he came up with. And if you just looked at 12,000 pre-orders, and we would say it's $50 a pop. Normally they're $59 for the games. EA's making $600,000 on it. So we already have people who are willing to set up the sites, willing to work with EA if they want to set it up on their end, to get the pre-orders. When we can get the pre-orders, it's just, we need to get a hold of EA. And right now, they are not paying any attention to what we're trying to, talk to them about and trying to offer them at all.
It's I don't want to say it's the big dog and little puppy scenario. I think it's more of the first time that a big company, a monster like EA Sports, is being introduced to a fan base as ravenous as the 12th man. And I see a lot of wins here. Even if this doesn't happen, Jason, like I said, I've met you virtually. This is spread out to a number of different individuals. I think there's a lot of wins for all of us in this. And it proves to the world how great a fan the 12th man is.
It is, and it does. And I think it's just proof that it shows you that one person can make a change. And though it may not be the change that we all want, it's going to lead somewhere. And, people seeing us 12s back each other. I mean, if you're 12, you're a family. That's the way that it is. We're close-knit. We're always going to be close-knit. And people are going to see that camaraderie. And, that's going to bring new 12s on board, and that may inspire people to be more passionate about things that they, have a drive for to as well. So, in the end, if the result ends up being not what we want it to be, we're still going to come out on top either way.
I think that's a great way to end this, and I can't agree more. I've said this a number of times, not only on this show, but in any of my social media sites. But the great thing about the 12th man here in Seattle is that we might disagree on every other day of the week, whether it's politics or other teams, college teams, whatever it might be in life. We might disagree on 99% of the conversation topics we might discuss. But on Sundays, we're brothers and we're sisters. And that will always remain here in Seattle as far as I'm concerned.
No, I agree with you, too. And don't think the 12th man doesn't stretch out to the East Coast, because you guys have proof here, and it's in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because Johnny Manziel is going to be a mess as far as I'm concerned there in Cleveland. Real quick, before you head out, share all the different ways people can not only follow you but find out more information about the petition. I obviously have that information on my website as well as on my Facebook. I've been sharing. But please, anything else they can do to support you, how can they get in contact with you, Jason?
Yes, so they can look for the Legion of Boom Madden petition. It's on Facebook. It is the official one. You will see links to the change.org petition. It is also links to the article that was on Seahawks.com, mynorthwest.com. It's also on CBS Sports, NBC Post Talk Football. So there's tons of media outlets. You can also look for Jason Coiner on Facebook.com. I'm going to be the only Seahawks fan in Cleveland, Ohio. So there is plenty of ways. I will be out there pushing it. People, if you want to find me, you'll be able to.
Jason, I really appreciate you coming on just for a few minutes, and we will get you. I want to get you back on for a little longer so we can talk football as opposed to just this. But thanks again, my friend, and we will be in touch, and we will hopefully make a difference. We'll make a difference regardless, but hopefully we can get something done here and make this happen, all right?
I do. And, hey, thank you so much for having me on and being so welcoming to what I'm trying to do. And I really appreciate every avenue and opportunity that you have, provided for me to get this word out. I really appreciate it.
You bet, Jason. Like I said, we're brothers, all right?
Yes, we are, man.
Keep Go Hawks, all right?
Go Hawks.
All right, that was Jason Coiner, everybody, and I'm glad we were able to bring him on. Hey, Brandon and Adam, I'd really like to get your impressions of what we just talked about. And again, if there's, if you guys have any ideas on what else we can try to do to help Jason out.
I think part of it is just getting the word out and like you said, being active. I know it was definitely a very different tone, the interview, from what we had with him a few days ago. Definitely with the actual announcement of the cover coming out, it's a little disappointing. But I really like the idea of a special edition. Having it regionalized for 12s and I pulled out for that.
Well, it seems silly that EA wouldn't do that. I mean, give me a break. They'd be raking in. I mean, how many guys are going to buy the one copy with Richard Sherman on it, and also the copy?
If there's a special edition, I got to have that too, right?
It's got to happen.
There's people out there.
Yeah. Why not make all the money? That's my question.
I've actually wondered that. Right when I saw this whole thing, I'm like, wait a minute. Why isn't there a the Cowboys edition? Cleveland Browns, you got put Johnny Manziel on the cover. I mean, there's all these different things you could do for different teams. We're not just the only team that has quote-unquote nicknames for our defensive or position units or anything like that. It just seems weird to me that EA wouldn't try to go, well, God, that's the greatest marketing concept of all time. We could make a killing selling special editions out there.
Yeah, they need to make it happen. Bottom line.
But